to do about something.
Hello, you're watching Much Ado About Something today, and I'm Donna. Well, I'm here today just to fix some cranberry sauce. Now, I've got these in the freezer, and we're cleaning our freezers and our pantry out to an extent. We're eating from them. I absolutely love fresh cranberries. I love these cranberries. They're normally sold the majority of the time around the holidays. And I always pick up several extra bags for the freezer because I so enjoy the cranberry. Some people call it cranberry sauce. We call it cranberry jam. And I am going to make some of that today. Now, this is a product of the USA. I'm going to wash these cranberries, and then I'm going to put them in the food processor and chop them up. Now, I like to read the back of the instructions on the bags whenever I get the cranberries. Right here is classic cranberry nut bread. That's a recipe that you can cut off. And right here is just homemade jellied cranberry sauce right here. So there's a lot of information I like to read on the back of the bags. And of course, this bag says wash and rinse before using. So I'm going to just take 2 of these bags of cranberries that I've got. I want to cut off the top of the bag here and put them in a colander. And just make sure I wash and rinse these cranberries really, really well. And I'm going to keep the cranberry bread recipe on the back of that cranberry bag because I might want to make that one day. I'm just going to go ahead and rinse over these cranberries. Just give them a really good rinse. Now, after I've got these good rinsed, I'm just going to put some here in this food processor and chop them up and blend them up pretty good. You don't have to do this. If you want to make whole cranberries, you certainly can. If you want to use whole cranberries in your cranberry sauce or cranberry jam, you can certainly do that. Now that's about as much as I like them ground up right here. That's how I like to use them to make jam out of. You can see how good they're ground. So I'm just going to put them in my pot here. And I'm just going to keep grounding them until I get my 2 bags of cranberries ground up. Now those bags were 2 pounds each, so all in all, I'll have 4 pounds of cranberries here. And I'll just keep repeating the process until I got all of the cranberries chopped up to the desired size that I want to use to make the jam. It doesn't take too long to do this. It's an easy, simple step. Oh, I think they smell so good. I love to smell the cranberries. I think they're beautiful. They're a beautiful superfruit. They have a lot of really good things for you in them. Antioxidants. They're a great, great berry. And they're smelling really good as I put them into this pot. So I've got 4 pounds of cranberries here. That I've ground up like this. I've chopped them up into these small pieces. You can leave them whole if you would like, however you like them in your cranberry sauce or cranberry jelly. Now I'll be canning this cranberry jelly or cranberry jam. So what I'm going to do is wash up some jars and get them ready after I get this started. But I've got 100% apple juice here, and I'm going to pour it over my cranberries just to cover my cranberries. And if I don't have enough apple juice, then I'll just add a little water to it to make sure my cranberries are covered. Now I'm going to put about 8 cups of sugar in here. Remember, our directions told us to use 1 cup of water and 1 cup of sugar to every 3 cups of cranberry juice. Now you can adjust the sugar. I mean, you wouldn't have to put any sugar in here if you didn't want to, but if you've ever tasted cranberries without sugar, then you know they're kind of sour without sugar. Now I'm going to simmer this, and I'm going to bring this up to a temperature. Bring it up to the gelling point. Now differences in altitude and barometric pressure will cause the jelly mixture to boil at different temperatures. Before cooking your jam, test the candy or jam thermometer in boiling water to find out what the boiling point of water is in your area. Cook the jelly or jam to a temperature 8 degrees higher than the boiling point, 8 degrees Fahrenheit that is, higher than the boiling point of water for your area. At that point, a satisfactory gel should be achieved. Now, I've used cranberries for years. I've made this cranberry sauce, and I don't add pectin to it because these cranberries usually have enough acid and enough pectin in here that they form a little jelly-like substance. You know, whenever I cook them, I usually don't have to add any pectin to it. So I'm just going to let these simmer a little bit. I'm going to let them reach a gelling point. I'm going to get my thermometer out and make sure I at least cook it to a point where it gels. I'm just going to head and wash a few of these jars, get them ready. And then I'll put them in the oven on 170 degrees Fahrenheit and keep them hot until I put the hot jelly in them and then process them. Or the hot jam. It'll actually be jam because I'm using pieces of fruits. That's the difference in jelly and jam. Jam is made with chopped up fruits and sugar, and it cooks until it mounds up on the spoon, and jellies are cooked. They're usually just the juice of fruits. and you cook them until they hold their shape. I'm not sure how many 4 pounds of cranberries is going to give me. I'm just going to wash up what extra little jam jars that I have on hand, and then we'll see how many we come up with. You want your jars good and hot because you're going to put your cranberry sauce in there, and it's coming off of the stove really hot. So you'll want to make sure you have your jars just as hot to put the cranberry jam in. I'm going to try not to drop these because you know that's how you get cracks on your rims. I always wash my jars before I store them, and then I wash them before I use them. And then, of course, when we process this jam, we'll process it for 15 minutes, so it'll sterilize everything in here. And we'll be cooking this jam until it reaches a hot enough temperature that it'll be sterile when we get all this fixed. Now I'll put these in the oven and hold them. I said 170 degrees, but I think I'll hold them at 225. Well, my last clip I left you with my empty jars that I had got out, and I was getting ready to fill them with the jam that I made from this big red pot over here. And I didn't film it. I just completely, it was late in the night, and I completely lost my train of thought and forgot to fill me filling up these jars. But that's exactly what I did. I filled up the jars, and then I processed these pints and half pints for 20 minutes, and then for 15 minutes, and then I processed the quart-sized jars for 20 minutes. And that's what I did. I filled them up, and then I processed them in a water bath for 15 minutes for the half pints and 20 for the quart size here that I have right here. So this is all the delicious cranberry jelly that I have. I'm still waiting for some of it to gel. You know, sometimes it takes a little while. It doesn't gel immediately when you get it out of the canner. Well, I used this pot right here. I used my big old red enamel on cast iron pot, and I used this new little thing that I got, which just goes right down here in the bottom, and it extends. And what this does is it turns any kind of pot into a canner. You don't have to have a special canner if it's not something that you use on a regular basis. I do can on a regular basis, but I like to have something small. I have given away or repurposed my other canners so that I just have the pots that I usually use in my kitchen. This is a big one, and it held 7 pints or 4 of these quart-sized jars. Now, I got these at TJ Maxx, and This is the difference in the space that it takes up. It's called a silicone canning rack. So I'm not sure where else you may get them. I did get this at TJ Maxx, and I was well pleased. That was the first time I had used it. I picked up 2 in case I was doing big batches of stuff. And so I did get to use this. It expands to fit the size of your pot. And I found when I was using it that I would have to put a jar on here and then pull it out to expand it to fit my pot. But it did, I was able to water bath process all of these canned cranberries without having to use anything but my pot and this thing here on the bottom. And that's what a canner does anyway. It keeps your jars covered while they process, and it keeps your jars off of the bottom of the pot. A wire rack usually does, but this silicone one worked just as well, and it takes up less space to store. So I thought I'd share that tip with you. And here is the delicious cranberry. It will be jam. I've got a little bit in the refrigerator that I keep out. I always call it the cook's bounty. And here that is, and it's just a little bit that I didn't have. It wasn't enough to fill up a pint jar. I probably could have put it in a half-pint jar, but you can see how it's gelling. So all of this will follow suit and gel the same. Now this is really, really good. And that's how jam should be. It just holds the shape of the spoon. And here are some of the things that we use this kind of thing on. These are what I would use this cranberry sauce for. Of course, now it's delicious on meat because, you know, that's what cranberry sauce usually is. It goes on turkey. It's served at the holidays because of the beautiful red color. And the flavor, I love the flavor of cranberries. You can see right there. It's starting to gel up really good. But I'll eat this. I call this this is my tasters, this is my preparers or the cook's loot. I get to taste it or sample it. I leave it out and put it in the refrigerator when it won't fit in another jar and I can't can it. Now this delicious stuff I'll be putting on cheesecake. Oh, it's so good. So much flavor. The only thing in this is cranberries, which you saw me chop those up, sugar, and water. Those are the ingredients. Now you can add pectin. And I did add pectin because I was trying to rush last night. My day got harried. I was doing this at the end of the day. I wanted to share it with you guys as I was cleaning out my freezer and made use of something that was in the freezer. Changed it to a form that was more shelf stable, where I didn't need electricity to keep it. So I wanted to share that with you. But in so doing, my day ran really late last night. So I was doing this into the night. Because, you know, I have my grandchildren. They stayed the night with me last night, and we had a great time. But it took energy. I had to use my energy in the most important area, which was taking care of my family. And then this was, you know, I work this in when I can. But I so love the cranberries. You know, I got those on the holiday sale. Now I'm going to have cranberries in my mouth and my teeth where I tasted that cranberry sauce for you. But continuing to say that my energy ran out last night. So I did end up putting pectin in there thinking that it would hurry things along. And I should have known better because the little bit that I took out of the pot before I added the pectin gelled instantly. As it cooled off, it was gelled and ready to go. And then the one where I added pectin is taking a little bit longer to gel. But I know that it will gel because this here that I put in the refrigerator, it gelled just fine. So it'll be exactly what we need. And I was sharing with you some of the things that I do with this jam and jelly. And if you ever have a batch of jelly that doesn't set and you don't want to take the lids off and go all through the process again, that makes excellent syrups. I mean, those fruit jams and jellies that don't set, they make a wonderful syrup. We can buy all kinds of syrups, but you can read the back of the ingredients, and there's a lot of ingredients on those syrups. But you can can this, and I already shared with you that there was only 3 ingredients, 4 if you add pectin, which pectin is a natural substance that comes from fruit and some vegetables, and you can, use that natural pectin and know that that's a safe ingredient. But we do a variety of things with this. We put it on our pancakes. We put it on biscuits. We put it on sides. Any kind of supper that may need something with a little bit cranberry sauce, a little sweet and tangy condiment like cranberry sauce, which is really cranberry jam. We will put that on the side and eat it with our with some of our other sides and things that we make for dinner, or it's just a treat. It's much like a condiment. You can put it on different sandwiches and it's really good. But there's a variety of things that you can do with your jams and jellies besides just eating them on toast. Now, of course, there's no high fructose corn syrup in any of this. It's just pure cane sugar. And there was not as much sugar as some of my other recipes. It didn't take as much sugar to make this cranberry jam or cranberry sauce as it would have some of my other recipes. Now, I've got to mark these and put the date on them. I always do that so you'll know what's in here, because, you may make several different things, and surprisingly, it might look just a lot like this. I make a crabapple jelly and a crabapple jam that looks very similar to this, so I make sure I always label these. This is, since it does have some sugar in it, we're trying to cut sugar out down to a very, very minimum. So this would be a really good treat. And when I would take a serving of this jam is 1 teaspoon. So that's a heaping teaspoon. That's 1 teaspoon serving. And that flavor goes a long way. You can really elevate a dish by adding this, something like this homemade cranberry jam or sauce. Some call it sauce. You can really elevate your dishes by adding that. But remember to use it in moderation, because sugar's something we don't want to have a lot of. This might be the only sugar I would have all day. And I would find different ways that I could use this so I could incorporate this delicious flavor that I love. So I might even put this in a cup of tea. It might have a few lumps in it, but it would still be delicious. And of course, this right here was just made last night. It'll probably solidify more, and it'll be ready. But I love cranberry sauce. I love cranberry jelly. I love to cook with cranberries and make cranberry loaf bread and do a variety of things. I enjoy it. It's a berry that I really treat it like a super fruit, and I enjoy feeding it to my family. I thought I'd just share with you what I did with the cranberries out of the freezer. I hope you found some value in this and it encouraged you in some ways to eat your jams and jellies. And remember, the reason you made those is because there's a lot less ingredients. There's a lot less things to deal with. Very simple, straightforward jams and jellies made from fruits. You know the ingredients that you have in there, and you know what you really like. I'm at the stage in my canning that I don't make anything that I don't like. If I don't like it and I don't enjoy it and I can't use it in my everyday meal plans, then I won't bother canning it. So that's where I am. Maybe I'll do a video on the 5 things I'll never can again. But I do enjoy the things that we can. And I just remember, anytime you're making any kind of jam, jelly, or sweet, you want to eat that in moderation. That's what I'm doing today. I appreciate you coming by and spending time with me. And like always, until next time.